Well, good morning, everybody. I hope today is going to be a great day for you. This video is going to be about how to get rid of them creepy old men that are bugging you online. But if you would, go ahead and like, subscribe, share, give us a thumbs up, shout out, all of that good stuff. We'd appreciate it. And no, that's not a morning beer, it's a juice in a can. So, we're going to talk about a lot of things, but let me just quickly, real quickly, short video for you in a live stream that you can edit out and use about how to get rid of those creepy old men that are bothering you on TikTok, social media, any forms, YouTube, all that. Look, in my world, it's really funny because I get a lot of people hitting on my wife on our channels, on our social network, which is funny because I'm all over it. So there's a big, fat, ugly guy there, but they're still hitting on my wife, right? So I found a method for getting rid of all these creepy old men. I just send them my PayPal account number and tell them to pretending they think I'm my wife, I guess, because they're always sending me messages, hi, beautiful, and where are you from, beautiful? You got any kids, beautiful? Oh man, beautiful, 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 honey pie, sweetie pie. So I just finally said, after a few emails or messages, whatever you want to call it, back and forth, I wind up just sending my PayPal account number and I never hear from them again. So, tip for the day, if you want to get rid of the creepy old men, just send them your PayPal account number. One, either maybe they'll be dumb enough to send you money, but two, they will usually run away then. So, tip for the day. All right. So you can just edit and cut that and save that and chop up that up and share that part with the world while we sit here, wait for everybody to come in this morning and hang out on a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday morning. It's about maybe 80 degrees, 79, 80 degrees with a light breeze. I do got the fan going on. Skies are perfectly clear. The sun is rising. I am having another big problem, you know. This year, for some reason, I'm fighting with the birds. I got these birds that want to live under my awning or my patio right here that we're under. And one of them keeps trying to nest in my plant. So I finally got him out of there. But now they've moved to another plant. And now they're trying to build nests on the ledge where my posts are. But it's too small. So they can't do it. But they're always bringing dirt and leaves and straw and all kinds of stuff and sticking it up there. Hey, Carter, how are you? Sticking it up there. So now I got to get the broom out and clean my post off because there's string and fishing line and all kinds of other crap that they're trying to tuck up under my porch. I don't know about these birds. If I could find a method for getting rid of the creepy birds, I would be in good shape. Hello to you, Carter. Brooks ball player. Hello, good eye. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for subscribing. Liking our channel. Give us a thumbs up today. The 290 of you. We appreciate you guys coming in. How are you today? What's going on in your world? Any questions? Thoughts? Oh, some people walking their baby this morning. So, Ellis is in the house. Big back. Good. It's good to see you. So Linder. Good morning, Dave. All right. I'm back home. I forgot to tell you. I've been home since last week. Sometime I forgot. Well, that's not good, man. Wow. I'm glad you made it home, So Linder. Everybody say hello to each other. If you have a YouTube channel or social media you want to promote, let me know. And you guys can talk about it here if you want. If you want to ask questions, you can. Brooke says, I was your second view. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. We need all the views we can get because even though we're extremely handsome, you got to work hard to grow. You look like the guy from Anger Management. Now, Jacob, I'm going to be honest with you. I've never watched Anger Management. I may have anger management issues, but I've never watched it. So which one is it? A lot of people tell me I look like Brian Dennehy, but I've never watched the show. So, do you listen to Mommy ASMR? Asmar? I don't know who that is. I don't. Tell me about it. Who is it? Soul saying hello, being a good helper, saying hello, everybody. Don't forget those thumbs up. Very important. My dog's out there taking a pee in the yard in the wet grass. She's not going to be happy. We got a nice morning dew on the grass, and my dog doesn't like to get wet. So she's out there. You subscribe to us. Thank you for that. We appreciate that. We do. Anger, the Adam Sandler movie. No, I like Adam Sandler. I think he's funny as crazy. I think he's a good actor too. Brooke says, I am sick. Sick. Hey, Mike is in the house. How are you? Ellis, if you don't behave, my blue people will just kick you out of the live stream. All right? So, one and last warning. Mike, how are you, buddy? Thank you for giving the thumbs up. How's things this evening in the Philippines? How are you? I did a quick, about 1 minute lead into the live stream talking about how to get rid of creepy old men. So you guys can all go back and watch that and cut it. It's real short, real brief. You can use it however you like. Share it with the world on how to get rid of the creepy old men. So, but I kept it real short, so I didn't go on and on and on and on and on and on about it. So doing well, my friend. Yes. So good. Glad things are going well. I see that you're always busy on the internet. I'm just been so busy in the mornings lately. I haven't been able to get around. So, Soul says I haven't left yet for my trip, but I just staying from a stay vacation. All right, that's good. Stay vacations are okay, unless you're retired and you stay home all the time. So, Ella says, how do you get rid of stinky old men? Creepy old men. They could be stinky. Some of them probably do stink, but creepy old men. The stinky ones, I would probably use Lysol or something like that on. I don't know. But creepy old men, what you simply do, and I'll tell you, it's kind of funny. All over social media, my wife and I share our platforms. We do our things together. And we're pretty successful at it, and we have a lot of fun with it. So we get a lot of creepy old men that like to hit on my wife, even though they can tell there's obviously two of us. And especially on TikTok and places like that. So when they do, they send messages saying, "Hi, beautiful. Ooh, you're so sexy, beautiful. Oh my goodness, how many kids do you have, beautiful? Ooh, all these funny things, right? Which I really enjoy. I play along for a little bit, and then finally, when I get fed up with it, I just ask them to send me money to my PayPal account. Then they all go away. So, oh, well, if you're going to want to keep talking to me, big boy, you need to send some money to my PayPal account. And then they all kind of go away. But that's how I handle creepy old men. Brooke says, my mom scared me last night because I was coming back from the bathroom and it was dark and she started walking towards me. Wow. So is your mom creepy or is just scared you because you weren't thinking she was going to be there? I'm soon going to have surgery. What surgery are you going to have done? Same here. I got to have surgery done too. I'm having surgery down the road here too. So Linda Brooks, subscribe to you. All right. Scared you, did it? All right. Well, that happens. Sometimes I wake up and I go walking through the house and I forget we have this big mirror in the house and I scare myself. I come around the corner and I go, oh my goodness, so. So, saying hi to everybody, which is a good thing. You guys all got to support each other. Oh, let me throw this out there just for all you new folks. If you don't know, the only thing I e-beg for is $5 million to my PayPal account. $5 million USD. USD, very important, American money. just send it to my PayPal account so I can buy a beach house. I would appreciate that. So yeah, we got a to, 4th of July was over the weekend, so we've been busy up until now. It feels like our summer's been going by really fast because we've been traveling. Oh gosh, doing a bunch of stuff, and now I got to fight with these damn birds in the mornings. So we've been busy. We went to Dallas a few weeks ago, and other places. Had a big tropical party over the weekend where we had a lot of people here and a lot of food and all of that. Because you guys all know I wear tropical shirts because that's what makes me cool, man. It's the only thing in the world that makes me cool is tropical shirts. So we've been doing that. We've been planning a new cruise. We've been doing some fishing. And Lorelai has a big party to go to this weekend with a bunch of other women folk. So summer is growing by fast, Brooke, I'm telling you. I hate men talking about live on YouTube wearing glasses, hats, and, well, and a blue polo shirt. Well, I understand. If somebody was wearing a blue polo shirt, that would really bother me. It sounds like you have a lot of psychological, Ellis. Do you need us to help you with your psychological issues? You know, don't tell me you're somebody with a small penis again. You're not one of those, right? Are you one of those people that have a micro penis and you have a hard time functioning in society? Is that what's going on with you, my friend? I hope not, but gee, you know, I hope you get better. I hope you get better. Yeah, you know, little penis. You, Alice, small penis. You. That's the vibe I get. I get the vibe from you that, you know, maybe you're bullied and, you know, maybe people harass you and make fun of you because you're small body parts. I don't know, man. But that's kind of how I feel. Maybe that's what's going on with you. Now, I don't know for sure, but all of my years of experience and wisdom I have, I'm starting to wondering if that's kind of who you are. But that's okay, you know. We on this channel don't discriminate against people, even like you. You know, we welcome everybody from every walk of life, every religion, every race, everything. We appreciate everybody from around the world and what they believe and don't believe. But we do try to help the ones that maybe have inferiority complexes about their small body parts. So, you know, but that's okay. It's okay. It's all right. You know, I feel bad for you, Ellis. I feel bad for you, but that's all right. Maybe you can go and find your mama and ask your mama to lick your wounds. Yeah, that's fine, soul. Yeah, I did the same. So, but, so that's what we've been doing. We're hoping to go on a cruise later this year. I'm not for sure. We're going to go on a cruise next spring with another couple, some good friends of ours that we trust. And, but they're having a baby. They came up and, wow, they got pregnated, so they can't go on a cruise. Thank you, Soul Linder. It's good. And so they're having a baby in the spring, so they can't go on the cruise. So we're going to try to move our cruise maybe to October. But I got to have my pacemaker changed in September, so I can't schedule one yet because I don't know when surgery is. So I got to have a surgery down the road, Soul Linder. So, but. So what else is going on in your world, Soul Linder? How, you know, I know you did your trip, you got back home. Are you working? What's going on? What's your plans for the next 2 years? Do you have a plan? You know, are you going to get married? You know, are you going to join the military? What are you going to do? What's your plans for the next couple of years? Good plan, Soul Linder. Chronicles, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Well, Rishi, good to see you. How are you? It's been a while, so good to have you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for giving us that thumbs up. So how are you, man? It's been a little while since we've seen you. You've been doing good? I know I haven't been doing mornings. I haven't been doing mornings because, Lorelai, the wife, changed her shift, and so she doesn't get off work until 12 midnight. And then we stay up until about 2 a.m. And so I usually sleep through the mornings now. You're gaming? Um, Brooke says, I am gaming. Nice. All right. Well, just keep having fun. Chronicles says, man, I've had a long day, but I am fine. I am fine as good old wine. Brooke says 8 a.m. Yeah, it's 8:28 where I am. I'm in the central part of the United States. So it's 8:30 in the morning here. I do a lot of live streams at night. I used to do a lot of morning things, but when Lorelai changed her shift, it's just kind of, some mornings I don't get motivated to wake up early. This morning I just happened to wake up early and went, hey, why not? Why not? So yeah, same time zone apparently. Same time zone, and that's good. But man, it's a gorgeous morning. I don't know what I'm going to do today. I know we go to Sam's Club today, maybe. But other than that, I haven't figured out what I'm going to do today. I need to get some work done. Have you ever been to that point in your life when you kind of like, well, there's all these things that I need to do, but none of them are things that I want to do. So what do you do? I don't want to do them, but I need to do them. So you kind of got to get motivated somehow to do that stuff, and it's one of the harder things to do, I think. Oops, what the heck was that? Oh. One of the harder things to do. I know Ellis has a small penis. Is that the guy you're talking about? Vincent Ellis with the small penis? The one who has issues with his mother? That one? Yeah, I know that one. So, not a lot, Chronics, just kind of hanging out. Just got up early this morning and thought I would come outside and enjoy. I did talk about in the very opening of this live stream about how to get rid of creepy old men that are like maybe coming to your social media.
You won't believe what I just found.
So I talked about that a little bit because it's funny, because I think it's funny. My wife and I do all of our social media together, right? You guys all know Lorelai. And we're pretty successful, and we have a lot of good time. And we have so many, oh, thank you there. Thank you. I like it. It's nice and cool. It's one of those shirts that's really breathable. So, but we have a lot of creepy men hitting on her, and they're always sending her message saying, hi, beautiful. Ooh, I'm a single man. Ooh, look at me. Hi, gorgeous. Hey, sexy. Hey, how many kids do you got? Are you single? And if you could tell if they paid attention, they would know she's not single, because her and I are together and all, our stuff. So I drag them on a little bit, and then I ask them for PayPal money, and they all go away. So that's my tip. If you get creepy people on your channels hitting you up, just ask them for money, and they'll go away. So, well, Vincent, here's what I'm going to tell you. This is my channel, my platform. And if you don't behave on my channel, my platform, we just get rid of you. We ain't got time for your small penisness, all right? So, thanks for your comments, Linder. Subscribe, good. Yeah, I like to wear the tropical shirts. So, I got a lot of them. I got over 200 of them. I got some somewhere. I give, one thing I've done, and you guys some of you good people may realize this. Some of you, it's early in the morning for a lot of my regulars, but I give a lot of tropical shirts away, and I call it the Tropical Shirt Club. And I'm really excited about this because a lot of people, a lot of companies send me tropical shirts. So, and a lot of them are too small because, I'm a big fat guy, right? So a lot of them are too small, and I collect them. And then when I meet somebody that I think would, because I think tropical shirts make you happy, right? If you need to dress for how you want to feel. And so I get friends that kind of, don't feel the greatest. So I send them a tropical shirt. And I've started calling it the Tropical Shirt Club. I send them a package. And I put a little thing in there and say, welcome to the Tropical Shirt Club. Hopefully to bring a little joy to your day. And so that's why I wear it, because I believe that you should dress how you want to feel. If you want to feel warm, then you wear sweats and a jacket, right? If you want to feel happy and enjoy the environment, this is kind of what you wear, if this is your thing. Well, Vincent, one, I have to actually like you and know you. And since Vincent, no offense, but I don't know you, so not at this point, is what they. Antoinette at Fun, one of the great little YouTube channels out there. She does, you may be really big now. I can't remember how many you have. I know you got a great channel. So everybody say hello to AAF, Antoinette at Fun, cruise ship. Hey, I'm trying to figure out a cruise ship to go on. So a cruise to go on. I'm having a lot of issues with selecting our next cruise. And because, there's a lot going on in the cruising world right now, and I'm finding myself at a shifting point about what I should do. So maybe if you're here and stick around a second, we can talk about that. So, so Solinder, you've always been a good supporter. What shirt size do you wear? And maybe I'll get around to messaging you through Facebook when I get another one your size, and I'll send you one. So, but that's what I do with the tropical shirts. I've been wearing them since my teaching days. So that's got 15 years now, and I've just collected a huge amount of nice ones that I wear. And I do have a few that don't fit me. Companies just send me stuff, which is nice. And people send me stuff too, which I'm always appreciative of. But just remember to recap, the only e-bagging we do, so you don't have to send me money for anything. The only e-bagging we do is for $5 million so that we can buy a beach house. That's it. So other than that, we don't ask for anything. Tim's in the house. Good morning, Pack. That's us, by the way. The title is so funny. You like the title, How to Get Rid of Creepy Old Men? So everybody say hello to Tim. Tim, say hello to everybody. Go and check out Tim's channel if you haven't done that. And go check out Antoinette at Fun is another great channel. Of course, you got Soul Linder in the house. He's here. So let's say hello to them. All right, Chronix, you'll join everybody a little bit later. Nice. I appreciate that, Chronix. I do. So, Tim, how are you doing this evening in the Philippines, but morning my time? I finally got up early enough and felt like, oh man, my back wasn't hurt. I didn't feel as extremely old this morning. Since Lorelai changed her shift, we're up until about 2 a.m. And so these days, a lot of the times, I feel too old when I get up in the mornings. I kind of feel like I'm dragging butt. So I go lay on the couch. But this morning I got up and went, it looks like a beautiful morning. I mean, clear skies, bluebird skies, a little dew on the grass. It's probably in the upper 70s here. I got the ceiling fan going. I thought it'd be another great opportunity to sit outside and enjoy the beautiful morning before it gets too hot while I figure out what the heck I am doing today. I know I got a lot to do. Getting rid of creepy old men, I guess I better leave. Well, that's what I was thinking, because when I wrote that, I thought, well, wait a minute. I wonder if people are going to think that I'm the creepy old man, or the creepy old man, because, I'm singular currently. So, but it's kind of funny because, we get a lot of people hitting on Lorelai, which I think is really funny because, we have a couple's social media and we're all over it together. So, but that's all right, Tim. So it's all right, man. Yeah, Vincent's running around asking for a signature. A signature of what? No, you cannot have my signature. I charge money for my signature. And if you want to send $100 to my PayPal account, I will give you my signature. I will send you a napkin in the mail with my autograph on it. I do offer autograph pictures of myself for $1,000. So if you want that, just send me a message, drop the money in the PayPal account first, and then I will be happy to send you an autograph picture of myself for $1,000. So, but man, it's a beautiful morning here, Tim. You know, there's times in America when it's miserable here, like in the Philippines, but I think one of the most special times anywhere you're at in the world, and all of you, I would hope, would embrace this. If you'll get up early in the mornings and you'll just go outside and you sit quietly, you listen to the birds or the traffic, you know, the winds, the gentle breeze, just relax. Take a few minutes to center yourself every morning. I think you have a much better day. I think you get a little bit of sunshine as the sun comes up in the mornings. The energy, and I don't know if it's scientific or not, but it seems like the energy from the sun in the mornings is so healthy for you compared like the energy you get, the radiation or the energy you get off of the sun during noon hours. And sunset's kind of the same way. So sunsets and mornings are a great way to start your day and then end your day. Well, I believe that. I believe, Brooks, I really believe this, and I know you're a young person, but one thing I would tell you, I believe that what we call vitamin D or sunlight and fresh air helps you get over being sick faster and better. So if you can get up in the morning and just go outside, and if it's warm, don't get sick. You got to have warmth, you know, and go outside and just embrace nature and the vitamin D that the sun provides in the mornings and the evenings. I think it helps you get better. Yes. Tim says they finally fixed my cable television. Now I only have 2 English channels out of 130. Man, you're doing good, Tim. When we were in the Philippines, we didn't have cable. We had to use the antennas, and we got no English channels. We got really bad dubbed movies. I like 8 vitamins a day enough. I take 8 vitamins a day. Is that enough? Well, I think it's more than enough. But what I mean is letting nature, not taking a pill. I'm talking about embracing nature. That's what I believe. A lot of people believe this, but that's what I believe. But I will tell you this. The best thing you can do is listen to your mother. Probably the best thing for you to do. But I do believe enjoy the sunshine and the fresh air when you can. I also believe that as human beings, we're not meant to be locked up in conditioned rooms, meaning heating and air conditioning. Air conditioning, conditioned rooms. We're not meant to be inside all day long. We're humans. Our ancestors lived outdoors, not inside. So, you know. So that's my advice about getting some sunshine. Fresh air and sunshine's a good thing. I take a bunch of vitamins every day, just like because my doctor tells me to. And I take a bunch of drugs every day, like the doctor says, but I don't like it. Good, it was storming all week. Well, I know. I understand. You don't want to go out when it's storming. You don't want to do that. You don't want to get hit by lightning or freeze in the winter or get sick because the humidity level is too high and you get too cold or anything. So you got to take care of yourself and be logical about it. But as an old guy, and I think Tim would agree with me, and I know Tim's a young man, that it's a good thing to enjoy nature. And as the older you get, I hope you will embrace the concept of nature, enjoying nature, being involved in nature. A lot of us like to go fishing, not because we eat the fish, but because it gives you a chance to be outdoors, out of the house, get fresh air, get exercise, and all of those good things. Oh yeah, man. I think they're over 100 now, Tim. 100 deceased in Texas. Here's what I don't like what's been going on with that, Tim. And I don't like this. I hate it when natural disasters happen and people are blaming people for the natural disaster. Now, if you want to blame people for a bad response, all right. But you can't blame people because there's a freak of nature that happens. You can't. And that's going on, of course. The other thing that's going on that I think is really sad, we got a whole bunch of liberals out there saying all of the people that voted for Trump deserve to die in the floods. So there's a bunch of liberals out there on social media running their mouths saying, well, that's what you get. God is, which is funny, because most liberals don't believe in God. So it's kind of like, well, that's what you get, for voting for Trump, you know. But, and I think it's really sad because in their hate and anger for the President of the United States, they're just disregarding how many little children died in that flood and how many families are devastated or destroyed, will never be the same because they lost their children. Yeah, up to 120. I haven't checked this morning, so I believe you in 120. So, and I'm one of these believers, so that we can plan for a Mother Nature to behave badly. Things happen, right? So we can try to plan, but we can't manage Mother Nature. Once we think we have Mother Nature figured out or cornered or eliminated or defanged, whatever you want to say, she'll just do something else, period. So you got to learn to take the ebb and flow with Mother Nature. Now, I think it's a good thing to have good drainage, and all of those things. I think it'd be a really good thing is if people didn't encroach upon Mother Nature as much. But we do, and we're not going to stop that. And so, but what, it just bothers me that we got so many people out there trying to make this a political issue or talking about you people deserve to have your children die. What? What in the hell is wrong with people? So, Brooke says, hello. So, and I know you've been in that region a lot, Tim, over the years about the flooded areas. And I've been in that area some, but, just not that much. And there's a lot of good people out there in that part of Texas. And I do like, here's what I do like. If you want to take away anything from this, I do like the fact that we're not doing FEMA the way we did FEMA in the past, because I think FEMA is a waste. I believe that. I've always thought that. No matter who's president, I've always thought FEMA was a big, gigantic waste. Because I believe, always have, and this comes from my career and safety and health, you can't have somebody who's way over here tell these people here how to solve the problem that's going on. So I like the fact that the new approach is Governor of Texas, what do you need? Figure it out, and we'll give you the support. And we've dumped everything we can into help, but we've let people of Texas run the incident. It's kind of like an instant command. If I have a chemical, because this is what I did as a hazmat specialist. If I have a incident, in Rogers, let's say Dallas, Texas, or some small town called Cypress Creek, Texas, right? And I got somebody who's in New York, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, trying to tell me how to run that incident. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. My grandma lives at a dock, and it's a little but a good thing that it rises 20 feet. Yeah, it does one of these. Yes. The lake was little, but now it's not. Yes. Lakes definitely have ability to ebb and flow. They do. HEB is in charge, the grocery store, which would be good. They have the infrastructure, they have the semi trucks, they have the food, they have the routes. You know, so I think local people are the best to manage things. But I've always thought that because it didn't make any sense to me when I was doing, incident command, because I was an incident commander, to try to have another incident commander try to tell me what needs to be done, and they've never even seen or been there on site. It doesn't make any sense. It never have. And for me, that's what FEMA was all about. Micromanaging something they didn't know anything about because they weren't there. And they only get there after the fact. They're not boots on the ground. They're people in a trailer 100 miles away trying to say what to do. So I don't like that. So, but what I can tell this time, that has changed. And I think that's a good thing. I think it's a gigantic tragedy. And I don't know, Tim, this whole concept of, we're glad all these children died because their mommies and daddies voted for Donald Trump, just crazy. Yep, you've been here for 30 minutes. You've been doing good. You can't be too sick. So that's what I think, Tim. I don't know about you, but I don't know. It's you. Just doesn't make any sense to me the way we do a lot of things. But I think maybe that's a little bit better with this one. I do think is Antoinette is at fun is in the house. Everybody said hello to her. She says it's very sad. It's devastating. Those families. I was watching some of the stories about the dads having to go, the families having to go to the campgrounds and try to retrieve the belongings of their children. And a guy was picking up his daughter's belongings covered in mud, and then found the dress of another little girl that his daughter's best friend, and and you're never going to be the same after that. And I don't have kids, but you're never going to be the same after that. I mean, just never. You send your kids off to camp for the summer, which is supposed to be a highlight of the summer, right? The kids are going to go to camp. They're going to get out of my hair for a week or two. They're going to have a time of their life. They're going to make memories of a lifetime. And then this happens. But, and I'm not in Texas, but I will say from everything that I watch, I think Texas is doing everything they can as fast as they can. And I think they moved heaven on earth to try to help. I really believe that. It reminds me so much of what happened in the Carolinas with the last hurricane that caused all that damage. The only difference is FEMA wasn't involved. And, if this would have been FEMA directed, there'd probably been even more people passing away. They sent a lot of trucks and supplies, including mobile kitchens. Absolutely. Boots on the ground, people that live there. Tim, that's what you have to do. You have to, in these cases, you got to let people that have boots on the ground there help solve the problem. It's the best, fastest way. If somebody has a bulldozer that can help shovel mud, you don't say, sorry, we don't want to use your old bulldozer because, we FEMA think we ought to get these bulldozers from California shipped in. No, you get whatever is handy and you get to work. Brooks says, I am in Texas. I was watching the stories and yeah, it's horrible. Antoinette, I mean, horrible. I mean, like I said, I don't have kids, but we've suffered tragedies in the past. But I just can't imagine the thought of, the roller coaster. Hey, we're sending the kid to camp. She's going to have the greatest time of her life. Oh crap, there's a flood going on. I don't know if my kid is dead or alive. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Yeah, you used to be in Texas. I know you did. We are trying to stop this, but it keeps coming. They are sending people out. Well, you can't stop. This is what I mean is you can't stop Mother Nature. And I'm one of these realists. I believe this. Look, we all enjoy Mother Nature very much. We love nature. But when you're enjoying nature, you have to take the good with the bad, right? What? I sit out here in my back patio this morning. It's a beautiful morning. The breeze is nice. The temp's good. The grass is wet with mildew. But Memorial Day a year ago, we had tornadoes wiping us out. So you have to take the good of the bad. And there are man-made factors that come into play, but I don't think so in this case. If you're going to be in nature, you got to be willing to understand that nature does what nature wants. Nature does what's natural to nature. Yeah, there's going to be more flooding, more hurricanes, more volcanoes, more earthquakes. The Philippines deals with earthquakes all the time. Volcanoes, other countries do the same. You know, it's part of it. It's a tragic thing, but it's part of it. The only thing that we can do is our response. It's like the horrible response in the Carolinas after the hurricane that is still underway of being fixed. How many people lost their lives there? The infrastructure being destroyed where people couldn't even get internet and be able to call people. And I've been in that situation. I was in the Philippines when Typhoon Odette hit, and it took 10 days because we were where it hit dead center. It took us 10 days before we could get out of there, find a safe place to make a phone call to let my family back in America know that I wasn't dead, because they feared, and I know this from talking to them, that we were killed in the typhoon. My brother lives in Dallas. When we finally got able to call back to America, we passed the message on that we were alive and kicking. They thought we died because they hadn't heard from us, and they've been hearing horror stories. Maybe not the full truth, but horror stories about what happened in the Philippines at Super Typhoon Odette. And yeah, we were hit dead center and lost the house, and it was horrible. Absolutely. Yeah, earthquakes, floodings, and typhoons is everyday occurrence almost in the Philippines. So you got to take the good with the bad. You just do. And there's nothing else we can do. And I guess maybe in an unrealistic society, but that's not, if all we got was good and nothing bad ever happened, then how would we appreciate the good, right? So if we never have good day or we never had bad days, then how do you appreciate? People that have near-death experiences, if they don't experience horrible physical elements, how do they appreciate those really good days? If you never have bad financial days where it's struggling to pay your bills, how do you appreciate those really good financial days when you got a lot of money and you're doing well and you get to take a cruise, which we're hoping to do later this year. So that's what, it's part of the plan. It's part of nature's plan, the planet's plan, God's plan, whatever you want to call it. The ebb and flow of things is part of how we're built. It just is. It just is. We can try to mitigate it to a point, but if we don't allow it to happen, if we don't accept the fact that this happens on a regular basis, then we're out of here. Life wouldn't be worth living. Because if nothing bad happened, you couldn't have anything good, period. You just couldn't. We're going to hear stories upon stories upon stories about how a lot of these young people were such wonderful young people. We're going to hear stories of how people saved people's lives. And so you do find, thank you, Tim. So we do find, got to go, but I'll be back tomorrow. All right, Brooks, appreciate you. Thanks for the thumbs up. So we got to look at this, one, from a learning lesson standpoint. I do think we learned something from everything. Now, I'm a firm believer. We can't stop Mother Nature. But maybe we make sure that we have better warning systems, alert systems to flash flooding. I know the weatherman or the weather forecast people at the National Weather Service, they kind of got something wrong on this one. But maybe they know now that we need to have some way to have better warning systems. Maybe they need to put flotation devices in rivers at the headwaters. And so, therefore, and what I mean, it's kind of like a bobber. You anchor it to the bottom, it has a sensor in it, and you put more than one for redundancy. And then, as the water rises, and if it goes up too far, too fast, then it sends a chain reaction downriver, alerting people that the river is rising extremely fast, extremely hard. And that can send out like tornado sirens throughout the coast. So I am sure with our modern technology, there's some good that will come out of it. Somebody will come up with things and go, here's what we can do to make this a little bit better or help. We're never going to stop Mother Nature from taking care of what Mother Nature does, because that's what Mother Nature does. We're not going to stop volcanoes, but we do have seismographs on volcanoes to help us when they start rattling. Same thing with earthquakes. Tornadoes, early alert systems. But, the tornado sirens were going off here when those tornadoes still hit. So if a tornado, I don't care how many sirens you have going off, they're still going to hit. Now, you might be able to spare more lives because we now know that there's a probability of a tornado, so we can duck and cover and hide, right? It's the same thing maybe with rivers that have a tendency to rise up and down fast, or maybe a tendency that drown. There's some sensors that can be put in them in multiple locations to let people know, hey, downriver this is happening. And then the other thing I would imagine people will probably look at is emergency evacuation routes out of these campgrounds and places. Maybe the state of Texas will come in and say, we need the roads to be wider, so it's easier to get in and out of both ways. So maybe now they'll say, look, I know it's nice looking to have a nice little road that goes down into these camps, but we're gonna make them have them wider, so it's easier to get people in and out. Multiple buses, an emergency situation. I don't know what the case is. Maybe emergency life vest, even on a river. Maybe each cabin will have to have a number of life vests. I don't know what the solution is. But I do believe that there are things that they will learn from it. But I do believe that, and I'm not a fan of Texas. I've never been I got a brother that lives in Texas, and we go to Texas a lot, but I'm not a Texas boy. I'm more of a Florida, Alabama boy, I guess. So I'm not a huge fan of Texas, but I think Texas is smart enough that as bad as this is, they will find things to learn from this and try to make some improvements. I really believe this. And they're stupid if they don't. It's kind of like the folks in the Carolinas have done that. Now, the lesson the folks in the Carolina learned from all the flooding from from the hurricane, was you can't trust FEMA and don't let FEMA in our door. Keep FEMA out, and they would have been better off. They would have been way ahead of the game by when you're telling the locals you can't go help that family stuck over there because you don't work for us, FEMA. Well, what? No. All hands on deck. All hands on deck. So there will be things learned from everything, and I'm a firm believer in that. And I think smart people would take heed to that. And I don't know. I don't know what anybody else thinks, but I think there's ways to improve things. But you're not going to stop Mother Nature. If Mother Nature decides that today it wanted to be 120 degrees, it's going to be 120 degrees. If it decides that it want to blow up a windstorm that blows over the fences and rips the shing, there's not a thing you're going to do about it. And as a science guy, I've always enjoyed Mother Nature because it's and in Texas, this wasn't really about the arrogance of man, But we have to be aware of the arrogance of man, right? So men build, and this is what I like about Mother Nature, is Americans or mankind will build a big building, made out of steel and concrete and reinforced, one of the toughest structures there is. And then here comes Mother Nature, and in a minute, Mother Nature can wipe that building out. So what we have to understand as humans is to work with Mother Nature and understand that we're not in charge of the planet. We are not in charge of the planet. We need to do the best we can to build structures that fit in with the methodology of Mother Nature and what Mother Nature does. But we're not going to defy Mother Nature. I don't care. If you're so arrogant that you're going to build a high-rise building thinking no tornadoes can damage us, no hurricane can bother us, no earthquake will bother us, I got a feeling you're going to be very disappointed. You're going to be very, very, very disappointed because eventually something's going to happen and you're going to be proven wrong. So one of the big lessons that we as humans all over the planet need to take from this is just not to be arrogant, to understand Mother Nature and to realize no matter how hard we try not to have these things happen, they're going to happen. And then all we can do is pick up the pieces and move forward. And now what we need to do is give support to those families, help them grieve, help them work through their trauma, learn from the lessons, but now help them heal, move forward, work through the trauma, and so forth. We definitely don't need people running their mouths saying, well, Daddy, you voted for Trump, so I'm glad your children died. We don't need that crap. And the difference is, and I'll say this, and I don't get too political on here. I do make fun of things, but I don't get political. But I will say this. You wouldn't find a living soul, I don't think, who voted for the current government that would say that. We would never tell, and I voted for Trump, we would never tell somebody who voted for Biden or Harris, whoever, we're glad that your child died. You deserved it because you voted for Kamala Harris. It would never dawn on us to do that. So I don't understand why these woke people feel like it's a good thing to say, your children died and you deserved it because you voted for Donald Trump. One has nothing to do with the other. What it goes to show these woke people, and if you're listening out there, I want you to understand this. What it goes to show is that's justification of why your party didn't win. It's the justification why we're so tired of your movement, why your movement's over. Because you cannot create decency even in a tragic event. You don't have the decency to stop and go, oh my gosh, I am so sorry your family perished. Instead it's ha 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 ha. You're the type of person that nobody wants around. One, we don't want you in this country if you really feel that way. You're welcome to leave, by the way. You have an American passport, more than likely. If not, go get one. There's so many other countries that you could travel to and go live at. Please feel free to go do that. But I really believe, and I was raised this way, whether you like the government or not, you're part of the government. So, and it's an ebb and flow. This time is this person. Next time will be a different person. There's been a lot of presidents I've liked, a lot I haven't. A lot of things government has done that I did not like, a lot of things that they've done that I have liked. It's a give and take. But I would never, ever, ever be so hateful and disgusting to say that you deserve your children to be killed and die because of who you voted for. That's why you're not wanted. That's why nobody wants you here. Understand that. Look at me in the face. I know you can't see my eyeballs, but if you could, we don't want you here. If you can't be a productive member of our society, then go somewhere else. If you hate the United States so much, please feel free to leave. It's okay. That's one of the great things about being an American citizen. You can pretty much go anywhere else you want. Now you may not want to go to Mexico to live right now, because now that we've kicked the Mexican population out and had a tariff war, they decided they don't want gringos living in Mexico. So let me give some advice there. If you're living out in Mexico land, the country of Mexico, go somewhere else. Panama loves you. The Philippines would love to have you. And if the government of Mexico, the people of Mexico no longer want American dollars because they're not getting American dollars from illegal activities. So they're not even smart enough to realize what they're going to do is get rid of some bread and butter. So you got people with money who's going to retire in Mexico, right? But now that you're mad because we've shut down the border and we're working on fair trade between everybody, that you're going to want to kick out the people that have money in your country. Great. So I've talked to a couple of guys that live in Mexico the other day, and they're leaving. I'm like, okay, you don't want us here? We'll go to Panama. We'll go to Honduras. We'll go to the Philippines, Thailand. What countries don't understand when they get mad at America, that there are so many other places that Americans can choose to live because we have a decent enough income to live in a lot of places, like the Philippines, where a dollar goes a lot further. Now, it's not going as far as it used to. So, okay, great. You want to hate on us because of what we're doing in our country, trying to make it better, so forth. Okay. You're going to run them off. And then what's going to happen now, what a lot of people don't get is the domino effect. Vincent is back. Vincent, how are you? So what a lot of people don't understand is there's a domino effect to things. Now, we've shut down the border, so a lot of people can't send the money home that they made in America to Mexico. So that's a revenue stream that's been shut off. Now you're going to kick out the people of the country in Mexico. You're going to get rid of the expats that have money, that spend money there in Mexico. So there's a second revenue stream that you're going to shut off. So what you're going to do by running off the people with money is you're going to hurt your country financially. You're going to be a bigger issues. So, hey, said hi, says Vincent. So there's a lot of that people don't understand, whether they're small-minded, they can't understand the concepts, they don't care. I know sometimes when you're fighting for how much you're going to get to eat today, you don't think about tomorrow. I don't know. But there's a domino effect that's going to happen for the country of Mexico itself that they don't see. But if they really want gringos to leave Mexico, the gringos I spoke to in the last week said, all right, we have plenty of money to go live anywhere else. So sure, we'll go back to the U.S., we'll go to Korea, we'll go to, Panama, because we got Panama lined out. We'll go to the Philippines to live, and we'll take our money and go live in these other countries. So Mexico right now is their own worst enemy, and that's okay, but that's just the way it is. And that's the way the woke population in America is. They're their own worst enemies. When you're running your mouth saying, all of you people who voted for Donald Trump, you deserve to have your children killed in a flood. Well, that just proves the point why nobody wants anything to do with you, why your movement is over, why it's time that America is moving on and beyond you and we're not listening to you anymore. We're just not. I feel bad for the woke population because I know they're going to wake up in 10 years and they're going to go, holy crap, what did we do to our bodies? What did we do? Look at the crap we did. We pierced ourselves, we blew ourselves up. And I hate to say this, but I'll be a little critical because I am a butthead and I don't mind being a butthead. Most woke people are the fat, ugly people of America. If you look at the woke population, they're not good-looking people. They're ugly people, they're fat people, they're short people, they're ugly people. They're people with no social skills, no job skills. They're people that can't function in society, so they have to cling to a gang or a group, which is the woke community. They think that's the only place they can fit in because they don't try to be better and to do better. They don't try that. So it's like anything. Why is religion so popular? Because you have an instant family. Why is wokeism so popular with all these strange behaving people? Because they're accepted immediately. All you got to do is go, hey, I want to be like you. You know, I want to be an individual. I want to be misgendered. I want to be this. Whatever it is. I don't believe the traditional is good. So can I join your group? And they're like, yeah, come on, join our group. And that's okay. Religion does that too. Gangs do that too. Military is the same way. It's a group to join for people that don't feel like they fit in other groups. And that's perfectly okay. What's going to happen in 20, 10, 30 years, all of these young kids that got wrapped up into this weird gender identity crisis is going to wake up and go, oh man, I screwed myself up. Damn, look what I did to my body. Ugh. So, Vincent's still in the house. Brooke says, I am back. Ellis is there. I don't care if Ellis is upset or not. I don't realize the time for me to go to bed. All right, buddy. We appreciate you being here. Tim, enjoy, and we'll talk to you soon. So if you're going to join a movement, I guess this is my point. If you're going to join a movement, if you're going to make an argument that negatively affects other people, then make sure that that's not going to come back and bite you in the butt, right? So if you're going to mutilate your body and in 10 or 20 years you're going to wake up and go, thank you, Tim, appreciate that. You wake up in 10 or 20 years and go, think about that. Vincent, do you have hair? Of course we have hair. You can't see it on my face? On my head? Come on. Humans have hair. Did you know that? All humans have hair in one shape, form, or another. So, and what the woke people that are saying that it's a good thing that your children died in this flood, how are they going to feel? They wouldn't like it. And this is what I don't get. Common sense tells you, even if I'm the wokest, craziest ass person out there, I don't know what my gender is. I don't know what I like to sleep with. I don't know anything. But common sense should tell them that it's never good to say, ha ha ha, your children died. Because someday maybe they would want children. Or what if somebody told their mom and dad them about them? Hey, I see that your child is very woke. It'd be a really good thing if your child would die. It's not even logical or common sense. Brooke says, humans are animals. You got that right. No. No. Vincent, no. Ellis can come back another time as long as they behave. So, no. But animals and humans are the same. We are. We are animals, everything. So I'm going to encourage you young people to stop, think about what you're saying. Think, all I want you to do, I don't care what you believe in life. I really don't. I don't care what you do for a living. I don't care who you go out on dates with. I don't care, if you eat dirt. I don't care. But the only thing I want you to do is to stop and think about your decisions. And if you're going to make a decision after you've thought long and hard about it, then I want you to be man or woman enough, or it enough, to stand by your decision. And I want you to understand that we allow you to make your decisions, all of us, other humans. We allow you to make your decisions, but that decision is yours to make, same as ours. So don't try to influence others. Let other people's be, and nobody will bother you. So just keep that in mind. Make your own decisions. Don't listen to the other crazy woke people sitting next to you, because it makes you feel good to have a friend. A lot of these people, and a lot of trolls on the internet, but a lot of the woke people don't have any friends. The only way they can have a friend is by to join the ideology of the woke. Same thing with religion, military, gangs, same thing. We are humans, not horses. That's correct. But that's correct. There is a distinction between bipedal and, quadrupedal animals. There is a difference. 4 legs, 2 legs, if you didn't know. So, but if you're going to make a decision, that's great. I don't believe in the philosophy that I should try to convince you to believe or do anything. The only thing I, as a reasonable adult, is to try to get you to think for yourself. And I mean, don't listen to all these other crazy people, And here's what you have to think about. Look, if there's different groups, where's the majority? What's the commonality? Is the commonality a hateful ideology? Then maybe you shouldn't go there. Is the commonality a good thing? Like, there's a lot of environmental groups that I know about that are really good. They're not crazy environmentalists. They're, really good at understanding science and education and ecology and all of those things, really good groups. Then you got some that are out there that are crazy. So, Benson's trying to be funny. If you have 3 legs, your third leg is probably itty bitty like your other friend. So, I don't know. I'm hoping that why can't people grow up in society? Why can't they stop to realize, wait a minute, if I had a child that died in a flood like this, would I want somebody running around telling me that I deserved it because who I voted for? All because I voted for somebody, I deserved my child to die in a flood? I don't understand it. Well, you got there. I Want Your Top fan, you got there. You're number 1 now. So that's what I would encourage all of you guys to do. Stop and think about things a little bit more. Think about how, one, to have honor within yourself. I can't teach you how to be an honorable person. All I can do is encourage you to think about what honorable means, what it means to be honorable. Don't give your power away to others. Don't let other people get under your skin. You can only be bullied, okay, if you allow it. Meaning, if you're being bullied or harassed, you can eliminate yourself from the situation. There's other things that you can do, but you can take yourself out of that. If you're in a bad environment, we have to do everything we can to free ourselves from that. We have to do better because we're only in control of ourselves, right? So we can only control me. I can only control me. I can't control you. I don't want to control you. I want you to think for yourselves. I want you to have pride. I want you to take great pride in who you are as a person. I want you to go, what can I do that would make me proud? That feels right. That is right. That's what I encourage you to do. I encourage you to look around and give a helping hand, not a hand up, but a helping hand when you can. One of the most powerful things you can do, young people, and everybody listening, is be helpful to somebody when nobody expects it. So you see somebody, open the door for them, Pick something up off the floor for somebody and hand it to them. Whatever little thing you can do to help people, one is a service to that person, right? But 2, it's going to make you feel better about who you are. And it's going to keep positive reinforcement. Because one thing I want you to understand, positive actions result in positive results. Negative actions result in negative results. Understand that. Positive equals positive, negative equals negative. And these people that are happy, but these poor kids in Texas died because mom and dad may have voted one way or the other. That's not, bad things are going to happen to them. karma has a way of coming around to you. So what you want to do is you want to give out good karma. You want good karma to come in your life. So if you want good things, then do good things. If you get a job, go to work, show up on time, do a good job. If you go to school, show up on time, do a good job on your homework, make good grades. Good equals good. I promise you this. Negative things equal negative. Bad equals negatives. Okay, what to do today? Well, that's the question. What are you going to do today, Brooks? You work at McDonald's? Nothing wrong with you working at McDonald's. Hey, Vincent, take pride in wherever you work. I don't care if you're a janitor, a CEO of a company, if you work at McDonald's, if you work picking up trash. It doesn't matter. Whatever you do, take pride in it. Here's something else I'll tell you guys. Don't bitch about the job you choose to take. So let's pick on McDonald's a little bit. If you decide that you want a job and you go get a job at McDonald's says, okay, we're going to pay you $10 an hour to flip hamburgers. And you say, okay, I accept. I will flip hamburgers at McDonald's for $10 an hour. You no longer have the right to complain that you're flipping hamburgers for $10 an hour because you accepted it. You said, okay, I will do that. Now, you can look for a better job, a higher paying job, moving up in management, whatever you need to do, get more education, more training, more skill sets. But you don't have a right to bitch and complain about what you agreed to do. If you told your mom and dad, hey, I agree, I will take out the trash, then don't bitch about taking out the trash, take out the trash. Vincent, I'm retired, I used to teach college. McDonald's is your favorite place? It has its good and bad. I wish they had real meat, but and I wish the fish fillet was larger than it is because it's really small now. But I understand that. A lot of people like McDonald's. But whatever it is that you agreed to do, you can't bitch about doing it. You can't. And you should do the best you can. Because what a lot of people don't understand is there is a domino effect to things. If I go to work for McDonald's, right, and I agree to work there for $10 an hour, and I do a really crappy job because I got a piss poor attitude, then the food quality is going to go down, right? That's going to negatively affect the McDonald's that I work at, which means more and more people will quit coming to that McDonald's, which may in turn means that my coworkers, my friends get fired because the business is not there. So there's a huge domino effect to things. McDonald's, there is a Ronald McDonald House for children if you didn't know that. So there's nothing wrong with working at McDonald's. There's nothing wrong with working anywhere. I would tell you, it's better to have a job than no job. I know a lot of people out there run their mouths about going, oh, well, I'm not going to work at McDonald's. I would never work there because it only pays $10 an hour. Well, the real question is, how much money do you make now? Well, I have no job, so I'm making $0 an hour. So you're going to reject something that's going to give you $10 an hour. What? That means you're dumb. McDonald's isn't wrong. You're wrong. You're too dumb. You're not smart enough to see $10 is better than no dollars, right? That's the way it works. That's great. If you want to be a baseball player, I think it's great. I loved playing baseball as a kid. Wasn't good enough to be, of course. But here's what I'm going to tell you. If you want to be a pro athlete, you better make sure you stay healthy, you don't overdo your body, and you work on your skills. If you're going to become a pitcher, what is the most important thing you need to be able to do? You need to be able to pitch, right? Most important is you need to be able to pitch. So you have to work on your pitching game if you're going to be that. So you got to work on your skill sets. If you're at McDonald's and you flip hamburgers, well, you need to work on your skill set of flipping hamburgers. Just the way it is. Vincent's saying, which we don't believe, of course, but that's all right. He makes 20K a month. Yeah. Well, I'm happy for you, Vincent. I know it's a lie, but I'm happy for you. You're being a catcher right now. Now, I'll give you a little bit of advice as an old guy. Make sure you take care of your knees if you want to be a catcher. So you keep them limber. You keep them loosened up. You don't overdo it. You take it easy. You exercise your knees. You keep your knees in really good shape because that's what goes out on catchers are their knees. And you got to practice throwing from the ground. You got to practice on your knees throwing to second base. You got to build that rhythm up. Drop shit, well, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. And Vincent, nobody cares how much you make. Nobody really cares how much anybody makes. If it makes you happy to say that, hey, whatever, man. Makes you happy, it makes you happy. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you're happy. How's that? So, all right, everybody, it is 9:30. I've been on here a little bit longer than I intended. I hope you guys all have a great day. I hope you do something good and positive for somebody today. I want you to make it your absolute goal to do one thing that is kind for somebody who's not expecting it and you're not asking anything in return. So do something kind for everybody. So, all right, everybody, take care, and we'll see you next time, or we won't.